Welcome back to another episode of Mr. Mysteries in Black and White with you two house, myself, Ed, and my main man, Josh.
How we doing?
Hope everyone has had a brilliant Christmas.
Yeah.
And it'll be New Year. It
will be New Year when this comes out.
It'll be New Year.
First podcast of 2023.
Yeah.
How we doing?
What you say? So, hope everyone's had a fantastic and a safe Christmas and New Year. Josh, how you been, my man?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Christmas was pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah, so, I mean, the only depressing side of it is the older you get, the more you realise it really is becoming just like another day.
Yeah, it is, yeah. It seems like when you're an adult, the best thing about it is the dinner.
The dinner, yeah. Unless you've got a child in the house,
yeah,
it don't feel... That magic has sort of gone.
Yeah. No, that is right. It is one of them, isn't it? Like I hate it because it might just be me being a spoiled kid, but when I could honestly, Christmas as a kid, you just want these presents.
Yeah, exactly. You'd wake up at stupid o'clock.
Yeah,
and then you'd always do the thing where it's like you'd wake up, and you'd wake your parents up or whatever, and they'd be like, "Oh, just give me a bit," and I think, "You boring bastards, it's Christmas." Now that I'm older, I'm realise. Fuck that.
Yeah.
My kid ever comes and goes, Dad, it's Christmas. Kid, fuck off.
Yeah.
Or I will shoot you.
Leave me alone.
Let me rest.
If you hear me, I'll be sniffling and that. It's because I'm just getting over a head cold, which I was knocked for 6 yesterday, but I'm alright now. So,
yeah. But no, how you been?
Yeah, alright. Yeah, like say, it's been a good Christmas and that. Like, as you can see from a guest. I've got a Giganotosaurus head. It's not life size because that'd be bigger than this fucking table. So I'm right happy with that. Because people who know me, like I've said it before on the podcast before when we've spoke about dinosaurs, which is quite regular now. Mm-hmm. Giganotosaurus is my favourite dinosaur. So yeah, to get a skull, I'm well happy. I'm well happy about that. Yeah, good old Courtney.
It is sick as well.
Yeah. It's not like I sent her it or anything like that. But no. And going into the new year, we have sorted it out. Like
too right.
How it's mad that how we've I've got to say this year now because we're recording it like a couple of days before New Year. So, but this year we're already doing better than last.
Yeah.
Like even though because we were just speaking about before coming on air, last year was the year we started it all, really, like with this room, the whole podcast as well, yeah. So so this is a start, but already this year we have come into contact with a shop in Wisbech called Dark Realms. Which, if you don't know, and if you're from Wisbech, go and check them out. They got really, really smart stuff in there.
Yeah.
If you like dragons, if you like witchy kind of stuff, or anything paranormal or supernatural, it's very, very. It's
right up your alley, sort of.
Right up your alley. The people in there, absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Really, really nice. And I went there last Friday. Just before Christmas, just get filed a few bits and everything, and I was hearing the woman Andy, and she was saying like they were doing a cleanse, and I thought that's not used. That's quite an unusual thing to say. So I said to her, "Well, do you mean like a paranormal cleanse?" And then she just like grinned at me, and I was like, "Yeah, because me and my mate." We do. We're trying to get into like doing paranormal investigations and supernatural huntings and that, and then that was it. Got to start talking to her, and they've got links with Wisbech Dungeons, which we will be doing a podcast about.
Yeah, and hopefully an investigation. We do need to talk to the right people. I personally believe it will happen.
Yeah, I think so.
It will happen. It's just a case of when.
Yeah,
because obviously times and. What's best for both of us, all that sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. But as well, with the dark realms, they are having. Oh, you bastard!
He down.
Oh, they are doing they are having an investigation there, and they've invited me and Josh to document it and to be the hunters. Pretty much.
So that'll be coming very, very soon.
That'll be coming very soon, and also it's a bit of change of a day. On the 18th of January now, we will be doing our talk with the Norfolk Folklore Society.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Can I have your drink, Josh?
Yeah, of course you can. Yeah, have that.
Oh, bless your heart. Where we will be talking about London Dungeons, with speech dungeons, and we're not going to give too much away.
No,
but so you're going to have to fucking find out.
Yeah, and the way you can do that is either by coming to the event, which is I don't actually know the building.
Oh, she did say.
It's in Norwich, I know that much.
Yeah, it's in Norwich.
You can either, whilst I was trying to find it, you can either come to that event or you can watch it on Patreon, which I think is, did they say like £3 or something?
£3 or £4.
Yeah, £3 or £4. You pay that and you'll be able to watch the talk live. So they're your two options of how to find it. Obviously, now it's getting closer to the time we are finding out more and more dates and more stuff about it. But obviously, when we know 100% concrete proof, this is what's happening and what date is happening, you guys will be the first to know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is definitely going to be 18th.
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
It was going to be 11th, but due to Sephora's been really busy.
Yeah,
and we appreciate with the work what she's been doing behind the scenes.
Yeah,
really, with the whole thing. And she said, "Oh, it's my fault. I've lost the dates." I was like, "Don't you worry about that. Like, we appreciate what you're doing for starters."
Yeah, exactly.
So, I can't find it. Like, the internet's playing out.
Yeah, well, like I said, closer to the time because we'll be doing a podcast between the event and everything.
Yeah,
which we will be talking about the likes of the paranormal and that sort of just a little bit of a teaser, I'd say.
Yeah,
as to what we're going to be talking about at this event and going into the what's it called, like the interview meeting sort of thing.
Oh, investigation.
That's the word I was looking for. Fucking interview.
Interview to go. So, what do you say? What do you want to tell us?
What are your ambitions? But no, with the investigation, we'll be talking about all that sort of thing. So, like I said, that'll probably be the podcast before that date.
Yeah.
So obviously listen out for that, and we'll explain basically everything of how you can watch or go to these investigation or go to the meeting with the Norfolk Folklore Society. All the works basically.
Yeah. Like I say, because it'll be within the next few days. Like, well, might be even before this podcast comes out.
Well, yeah.
But if not, it'll be next few days where you'll find out everything.
Yeah, exactly. And on top of that, if for some chance you're unable to watch or listen to this podcast, we'll probably put it on the Facebook and the Instagram pages anyway.
That's what I mean. It'll be
so you'll be bound to find it some way or another.
Yeah, you'll be finding it either through it'll be on our Facebook. It'll be on our Facebook via me or Josh. It'll be on the Facebook group, which you'll find out everything at the end of this episode.
Yep. So stay tuned.
That's it. You gotta keep men in you. Oh dear. But with that, as I am introducing it, it is one of Josh's subjects. Thank fuck, because I don't think we'd be here fucking
we'll be here all day.
Yeah, we'll be here fucking 3 hours just me trying to talk. So with that, Josh, what we're talking about today?
Today, we're going to be talking about someone that I have mentioned before on this podcast. Specifically, I mentioned him on the Gareth Williams episode to do with the United Kingdom and Russia and just like suspicious deaths and that. We'll be talking about a man called Alexander Litvinenko, who was a former Russian KGB member, for lack of a better word, turned turncoat, fled to the United Kingdom and was murdered, basically. I'm talking about how everything about the story. And the reason that I'm doing this one is because of recently there was a TV show called Litvinenko on ITV. If you've got ITVX, look it up. I highly recommend it. Yeah. David Tennant stars as Litvinenko, which I find mad that they paid him all that money and he's literally in one episode, but still. Unfucking real. And that really got me hooked on it. I thought, that sort of links in with a previous episode I've done. And on top of that, I started looking more and more into it. I was like, yeah, okay, I've got to cover this. Yeah. Sort of thing. This is right up my alley, so.
Oh, no, fair, yeah. And as well, what is it, right, with ITV, and David Tennant always plays...
An unreal person.
An unreal character. Like, well, unreal, I mean, he played like a horrible serial killer.
Oh, yeah.
Dennis Nielsen, but he was unbelievable.
Yeah, exactly.
And now he played Litvinenko, so that's, yeah, so...
It is a bit mad. But it'll still, no matter what he's in, he'll still be the Doctor. Yeah. I don't care what anyone says.
Right. Sorry, I weren't trying to be ignorant, Josh.
No, you're all right. I could see what you were doing on your phone anyway.
But it's at the Arbitorium. Yeah. Arbitorium sounds better. 43 St. Benedict Street in Norwich, which is NR2 4PG.
There you go. So, if you are available that date, which I think it falls on a Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it does. Yeah, it does.
So if you are available that day, please head over. Is it a ticket event? I'm pretty sure it is.
Yes,
isn't it?
It is. Yeah,
it is a ticketed event because obviously there's only a certain amount of capacity they can hold.
Yeah.
So if you are interested in coming along, please get your tickets.
How many pay? Oh, it'll be £3 per person. From the door fee and £2 per Patreon.
Yeah.
So it's £2 per Patreon.
So there you go.
So it's even cheap. It's half price of what you thought it was going to be.
There you go.
So, yeah. So it's either £3 at the door, £2 at Patreon. Which when we get like what to follow on Patreon and stuff like that, we'll let you know.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, I'll be. I can't wait for that.
It's going to be unreal. The fact as well, because we was on about it a few episodes ago, and we were saying next month, it's literally a matter of days away now.
Yeah, kind of.
Because especially when this comes out, it will be that month.
Yeah.
So
in a matter of weeks. Because when does this come out? This comes out on the 2nd. On the Monday, yeah.
Yeah, 2nd, yeah.
Yeah, so it comes out. So this is coming out 2nd. If we're doing it on the 18th, so 16 days.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's mad how quick it's coming around.
Yeah.
But no, watch this space when it comes to myths and mysteries. If you can hear slight banging, I do apologise. Some twats out there letting off fireworks.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know if it was Stanley falling through something. Because he's big boy. Stanley's big boy.
He just comes through the roof. It's
oh no! I'm going to be paranoid now that he's going.
He won't.
Nah, he's chunky, but he's not that chunky. Well, I don't know. So yeah, so Josh, back on subject. Sorry about that. Yeah, take it away.
All right. So on the 1st of November 2006, Alexander Litvinenko was caught on CCTV heading on his way to meet up with 2 former Russian spies at the Upmarket Hotel in central London. He thought he was meeting up with friends, but what transpired resulted in him being dead just 22 days later.
Oh, long death.
Yeah, well,
okay, now.
Long death, but I'm pretty sure he wished it fucking come quicker.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So, Alexander Litvinenko was a former Russian KGB and FSB member at a very high level. Now, for those that don't know, FSB stands for the Federal Secret Bureau, and it's technically what the KGB... They just renamed it, basically.
Oh, right.
So it's still technically the KGB. His job was to execute people who were believed to be enemies of the Russian state. In his last job, he was ordered to kill Boris Berezovsky, who was a Russian business oligarch and advisor to Boris Yeltsin, and who actually helped Boris Yeltsin be re-elected into presidency in 1996. After this election, Boris Yeltsin was actually doing the polar opposite of what Berezovsky and the other oligarchs wanted.
Right.
And with that being, the way he was doing that was basically he was promising all the money that the Russian state had to the Russian people and not lying in the oligarchs' pockets.
Oh, right.
So obviously it pissed the oligarchs off.
Yeah.
However, fucking fireworks, seriously.
It's not even New Year's.
No, that's what pisses me off. It's the same with like bonfire night, and they're letting them off at like the 1st of November. It's like, are you a cunt?
Yeah.
I hate them. I fucking hate fireworks.
They just want any excuse.
Fucking shoot it yourself, you knobs. However, Boris Berezovsky had a plan in place and told Yeltsin to place none other than Vladimir Putin in charge of the KGB and to rename it the FSB. Now, Boris Berezovsky is actually the man responsible for creating the monster that Putin is today.
Oh, really?
He's the one that basically... Putin was Berezovsky's protege, sort of thing. So he was the one that, like I said, got him in charge of the KGB, basically told Boris Yeltsin, who was the Russian president at the time, give this guy the keys to the kingdom, let him do what he wants, and I guarantee you'll reap the rewards of it. Not realising what the fuck this monster was about to truly become.
Oh, hindsight.
Yeah, exactly. However, when Berezovsky did realise the monster that Putin was becoming, he started to fear for his life, especially with Putin already had one oligarch arrested and another 2 up for trial. So fearing this, Berezovsky fled to the UK for his life.
Right.
Now back to Litvinenko. He claims that he was part of a murder squad tasked with the assassination of Berezovsky.
Murder squad.
Murder squad. Well, in May 1998, Litvinenko and a few of his colleagues actually blew the whistle on the state corruption in Russia.
Yeah.
And they did this by hosting a televised press conference in Moscow.
Right.
To which he said, the FSB infrastructure has been used by certain officials not for the constitutional aims of security of the state and individual, but for their own political and financial gain.
Well, is there any... the thing is, they're just more violent, but is it any different to what's happening in the UK?
Well, no, of course it's not.
You know what I mean? Like,
I think back then it obviously maybe a bit. I mean, this is 1998.
Yeah, probably.
But, or maybe it was the fact that it could have been worse. It's just we know more about that sort of thing
maybe
nowadays, sort of thing. Well, this is obviously why Litvinenko fled Russia and moved to the UK, where he was granted asylum and officially became a British citizen and was even given a new identity, now going under the name of Edwin Carter.
Thing is, though, right, he's become a British citizen, he's got his new name, Edwin Carter, but when he talks like this, you're like, you ain't from Scarborough.
Yeah, exactly.
you know what I mean?
It don't take a genius to work out.
Oh, funny accent, you must be from Wales.
Yeah.
Well, you're probably all white. You know what I mean? Like,
especially then it's like, oh, you're Russian, what's your name? Edwin Carter. I'm sorry? Edwin Carter. From Russia. Edwin Carter.
Not even Kartelenko.
No.
You know what I mean? Like,
Edwin Carter. It's like, he'll be alright.
yeah. That's what, man.
Well, 6 years later, he met up with a couple of his former colleagues at the Pine Bar in the Upmarket Hotel in central London. 2 days after this meeting, he began to start vomiting blood and was in complete agony.
Jesus.
He was then admitted to hospital with ulcers in his throat and being unable to eat or drink. He then begged the nurses to call the police because he believes he's been poisoned with something called thallium.
Thallium?
Yeah. Now, even though the symptoms...
I thought that's what makes people spaced out. No, that's Valium.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Well, I think they are similar sort of things. I'm pretty sure they are.
Really?
Yeah.
One makes you spaced out and happy, and the other makes you have ulcers in your throat and you can't eat or drink, and you're spewing up blood.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
I'll get onto this. Now, even though the symptoms were consistent with this allegation, for example, he lost his hair, his white blood cell counts plummeted, and the nurses and doctors at first did not believe him at all because the tests for thallium were coming back negative.
Yeah.
Well, at midnight on 18th of November 2006, the police were finally called and was told about the situation. Detective Inspector Brent Hyatt, along with his colleague, went to the hospital and they were confronted by a nurse that told them it was too late and they'd have to begin the interview tomorrow. Brent Hyatt then asked the staff if they could 100% guarantee that Edwin Carter would still be alive in the morning. When the nurses couldn't confirm this, he began to interview him straight away as well as record these meetings.
Right.
Now, I've got some of the messages from the tape recording, so I'll read a few of them out. So the first part that he said was, "My name is Edwin Carter. I am a British citizen. In Russia, I have a different name. I am named Alexander Litvinenko. I am a former KGB and FSB officer. My rank is lieutenant, and my position is deputy head of a top secret department of the FSB." He was then asked what happened to him, to which he replies, "I have no doubt they poisoned me. All that remains for me to prove this with a medical examination."
Right.
Now, at first, the police themselves didn't truly believe him, as one of the side effects of thallium, as you just mentioned, was hallucination.
Right.
So they were a bit, However, he gave the police one concrete lead of a contact, that he claimed to have had regular meetings with at a London auction. This person, only known as Martin, man like Martin,
Big up, Martin,
was an MI6 agent at the time, and he confirmed that the patient was in fact Alexander Litvinenko, and that he was a former KGB member who now advised MI6 on Russian organised crime.
Right, okay.
On 20th of November 2006, the case was beginning to open at Scotland Yard, and running the investigation was a man called DSI Clive Timmins. His first job was to find out that if it was a medical mystery or a criminal mystery.
Right.
Because obviously, if it's a medical mystery, it's got fuck all to do with Scotland Yard.
No.
Well, in another interview, Litvinenko said, "I was born in the Soviet Union. After school, I was recruited to the Soviet Army. In 1997, I was sent to the KGB. For 11 years, I was a top KGB officer. In 1997, I was sent to the top secret department of the KGB, where my department has the duty of killing political and high businessmen without a judge verdict."
Right, so they were assassins.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right, righto.
In a follow-up interview, Litvinenko said, "After I had this order, which was to kill Berezovsky, I said to my boss, I refuse. After this, the KGB opened operation case against me and tried to oppress me. I had a meeting with Putin face-to-face, who Putin was, like I said, the head of the KGB at the time.
Right, yeah.
I had a meeting with Putin face-to-face, and I brought him material about criminals inside the FSB. Well, over the next 3 days and nights, Litvinenko was interviewed by police for a total of 9 hours. All the while, he is in serious agony and is slowly dying.
Yeah.
However, he was willing to do so as he understood that the police were not going to be able to get another chance to interview him, and he wanted to tell them everything. Not so someone could be charged with his murder, but so that everyone actually understood who they were truly dealing with when it comes to Vladimir Putin.
Right,
because he was basically the one that opened the whole can of worms against this cunt. I mean, everyone knows sort of, well, what a massive dictator piece of shit he is now.
Yeah.
But obviously back then, no one really had a clue. No one really knew who he was, really.
Nah. No, let's say I always thought he was a bit of a lad.
Yeah. Well, his wife, Litvinenko's wife, Marina, released a photo to all the papers showing the public the impact of the poisoning, which, if you do know about Litvinenko, is that infamous one of him just laying in his bed, just looking like he's on death's door.
Right.
Now, going into the thing that was actually killing him, Litvinenko knew that thallium was the poison of choice for the KGB, which is why he told the nurses that's what he's been poisoned with. However, over time, he got worse and worse, and nobody could truly understand why, because obviously the tests were coming back negative, so they didn't know how to help him.
No, right.
They knew it wasn't thallium because the test kept coming up negative, so they tried to figure out what it was, and they did this by giving Litvinenko a living post-mortem. So basically what that means is they've done everything that they would in a normal post-mortem, except cut him open because he was alive.
Yeah. Can't really do that.
No, exactly. They then took a sample of Litvinenko's urine to a high-security atomic weapons establishment. However, the test would take 24 hours to complete. As a matter of fact, the test was so severe they needed a litre of his urine.
Fucking hell.
So this Donny was pissing for England.
Yeah.
Just to find out what was wrong with him.
Jesus Christ.
Now, that same night, on the 22nd of November, Litvinenko actually went into a cardiac arrest, but was thankfully resuscitated.
Right, okay.
On the 23rd of November, the test results came back, to which it was not only confirmed what the substance was, but that he'd been poisoned with 1,000,000 times of the lethal dosage. Which sounds like a massive lot, but I'll go a bit more into it. He was poisoned with a substance called polonium-210, which was used in the early testing of nuclear bombs.
I was going to say, that sounds Chernobyl, if I've ever heard.
And is actually one of the deadliest substances on the planet. So much so that just 1/1,000,000th of a gram is enough to kill you.
Right.
So if 1/1,000,000th of a gram is enough to kill you, and he's been poisoned 1,000,000 times over, he's only had a gram.
Well, yeah, but still.
But when you say like 1,000,000 times over, you think, fucking hell, they must have just chugged him with it.
Yeah.
But 1 gram.
Yeah,
that's all they needed.
Oh yeah, but still, like that saying that gram could kill 1,000,000 people.
Exactly.
And he's had a whole gram.
A whole gram.
Fucking hell.
This meant while Litvinenko was talking to the police in interviews and was in constant pain, his insides were effectively being turned into mush. So that just shows how much of a hard cunt this guy is. He's saying, right,
Russian,
he's like, I've been poisoned. I need to talk to the police. Listen, I'll tell you everything. I'll speak over 9 hours, and the whole time his insides are literally becoming sludge.
Yeah.
You're like, what the fuck?
Fucking Russians, mate.
Russians, mate. They're on another level.
Yeah.
But that evening, on the 23rd of November at 9:21, Litvinenko died after suffering another cardiac arrest, which meant that he was in hospital for 22 days in constant agony, his insides just becoming nothing, and just slowly waiting to die, basically.
Yeah, withered. Jesus Christ, what way?
Well, with his death, it meant that this investigation officially opened up as a murder inquiry, and with it happening on British soil to an official British citizen, it meant that Scotland Yard had a whole open book to figure out how this happened.
Right, right.
However, the first problem was not only the ward he died... Wait, what? However, the first problem was that the ward he died on, as well as many other places, were contaminated with polonium. And seeing as nobody knew about it, nobody knew how to deal with it.
Right.
Now, the thing they realised with the substance being polonium is that it's very rare. In fact, the only place you can find it is in a reactor. So to get a hold of it, you need to have access to the products of a reactor, and the place where this is made is in a very high security facility in Russia. So that meant that was basically the first marker to prove Russia had something to do with this. Scotland Yard then had to work out how polonium had been brought into the UK and who brought it in.
Yeah, but if it's a gram, you ain't gonna fucking...
You say that. But the first clues actually came from the interview tapes with Litvinenko when he said, I have no doubt who wanted this. This was done by Russian Secret Service because I have knowledge of this system. I know to kill a citizen in another country, this order can only be given by one person. This person is the president of the Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin.
Right.
Litvinenko told the police that on the day he fell ill on November the 1st, he met up with an Italian intelligence analyst. Fuck me, what a tongue twister. This man was called Mario Scaramella, which is just like the most Italian name you could ever get, isn't it?
What's his middle name? Tagliatelle. Oh, dear.
Well, Scaramella had wanted to meet up with Litvinenko to get his advice for an Italian parliamentary inquiry into allegations that the KGB had tried to influence the Italian government.
Right.
When the pair met, Scaramella suggested that the pair go and eat at a restaurant called Itsu, which is like a sushi
I was going to say,
restaurant
in
London. He suggested that they sit somewhere quiet, eat and talk. Excuse me. Litvinenko claimed that Scaramella was very, very nervous and started talking very, very fast.
Don't know why I say that. I mean, it's because they're both got, I imagine, trying to speak English, which is their second tongue.
Yeah.
But one's Russian, one's Italian. So it's just like, the one started to speak
in a Japanese restaurant in London.
Yeah.
You've got all the fucking boards checked off here.
Yeah, I know. But can you imagine, like, say, like with that, and them they're going to be fucking words up. They're trying to talk quick. He'd be like, I ain't got a fucking clue.
It's finished talking, you go, what?
Say that again, bro.
Where am I? I've lost it. Oh, no, here we go. Scotland Yard sent an investigation team into the Itsu restaurant, to which they found traces of polonium. This also meant that Mario Scaramella was a person of interest in the inquiry.
Yeah.
Now, the way you test for things like polonium is through secretion, which means it's like in your sweat and etc. So if you're sweating from your hands or anything and you touch things and pick things up, you leave a deposit. And this meant that they could follow step by step where someone with this infection has been, or that someone that is carrying the polonium.
Yeah.
Now, Scaramella had stayed at the Thistle Hotel in Victoria, London during his time there. Now, when his room was tested, as well as Scaramello himself, both tests came back negative. So that meant that the chances of Scaramella being the one involved was very, very small.
Yeah, but he could have worn rubber gloves.
True. So this began to question why the Itsu restaurant was contaminated. The analysis, when it was done, showed that there were the contamination where the The analysis, when it was done, showed that where the contamination was found was not the same spot where Litvinenko and Scaramella were sitting.
Right.
In fact, they was on like one booth. It was found on the booth behind them.
Okay.
Well, it turns out that Litvinenko had another meeting that day. In his interview, Litvinenko said after his meeting at the restaurant, he went to the Millennium Hotel where he was meeting two other Russian people, former KGB officer Andrei Lugovoy and former Soviet Army officer Dmitry Kovtun. Now, when he met with Litvinenko, Lugovoy told him that he was actually going to the Arsenal v CSKA Moscow football match that night and that he could only talk for about 10 to 15 minutes.
I think Arsenal won that night.
Probably. I mean, it was in 2006. You were a fucking unreal team back then.
Still are, mate.
Well, yeah, now.
You know.
Well, when they got to the table, there was already a few cups and a teapot, to which Litvinenko poured himself a drink.
Well, he's a
and
shit
took a few
KGB
sips.
bloke. Then,
Well,
isn't
yeah.
he?
Yeah,
That's
it's
the
fucking
first thing you
stupid.
think of.
Yeah, of course
That's
it
the
is.
first thing you think of, like, these are KGB lot. I'm ex-KGB, and I'm fucking them off.
Exactly.
So it's
especially on top of that, right? When after he took a few sips, he didn't like it because it was almost cold, and he was the only one to drink from that pot.
Come on.
It don't take a genius to work that shit out now, does it?
I've seen enough action films
Exactly.
to warrant you don't do that.
No, and especially a former KGB member.
Exactly.
Who's known about poisons.
Yeah. That was his job.
Exactly.
Well, wasn't it? Yeah. I was just thinking as well, you said about the difference with thallium and Valium. You imagine if you had dyslexia.
Oh, fuck me. I'm infected with thallium. Yeah. You're not, though. No, yeah, I am. I'm going to die. Yeah, all right, you're hallucinating because you got thallium. No, thallium. You're like, yeah. It's like, no, bitch, listen to me.
So, looking at them both, like you feel fucking, you're in pain or something. You think, I just want something to space me out. And then you like, Valium.
I'll take this one.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Duck.
After this, Lugovoy checked his watch and said that his wife and child are coming to the hotel, to which Litvinenko met them before they left. Now, the police obviously turned their attention to the hotel, where CCTV had captured both Lugovoy and Kovtun going upstairs to the men's toilets where traces of polonium were found that matched their movements.
Right.
Now, Lugovoy and Kovtun came into the UK on the 16th of October on a British Airways flight from Moscow. They stayed at the Best Western Hotel in London, where traces of polonium were also found in their rooms. The police also had another breakthrough when they discovered that Litvinenko had met up with Lugovoy and Kovtun 2 weeks before their afternoon tea at the Millennium Hotel.
Right.
The location that they met was the Itsu Sushi Bar, and the table that they sat at was the one where they found the polonium traces.
Ah, right.
This meant, obviously, that Lugovoy and Kovtun tried to kill Litvinenko on the 16th of October, and the doses they used would have killed him that exact day. But because they ballsed it up, it didn't work properly.
Right. Oh, so that's why it prolonged.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Prolonged, and then when they gave him the other dosage, that's why it fucked him royally. Well, after the original attack on the 16th of October, Lugovoy and Kofton travelled back to Moscow on a Transaero flight, which is a Russian-based flight.
Yeah.
Well, after the death of Litvinenko, the police stopped that exact flight from heading back to Russia and tested it for polonium, to which they found it on the exact seats that Lugovoy and Kofton had previously been sat in.
Right, yeah, so they've got banked rates pretty much.
The police also works out that the time frame from when Lugovoy and Kofton returned to Russia on the after the October attack, and the one where and the flight after Litvinenko's death, because obviously that whole time period, that flight's going to and back.
Yeah.
They roughly estimated that there could have potentially been 36,000 people that could have possibly been contaminated with polonium.
Fucking hell.
Nah, obviously they stopped this flight from going back to Russia when after Litvinenko's death, and they tested it for polonium.
Yeah.
Russia were that pissed off with this that they Russia were that pissed off with that the UK had interfered with the Transaero flight that in Moscow airport, Russian authorities had purposely taken one of the tugs that pushed the aircraft back from the stands and put it in front of a British Airways flight, preventing it from taking off.
That's just childish.
That's how petty these fuckers were.
That's just fucking childish.
You think you've stopped my flight, I'll fucking stop one of yours, cunt.
Yeah.
Cost you money, how do you like it, dickheads?
It's so petty.
And that was the first sign of political troubles with this investigation.
Here we go.
Well, 9 days after the Itzu attack, the one on the 16th of October, Lugovoy returned to the UK, this time to finish off what he started. But he brought his family along with him so that it wouldn't look suspicious.
Yeah.
That's why Litvinenko met his wife and kid.
Ah, right.
The police checked the hotel room where Lugovoy was staying and found a serious amount of radiation in the bathroom sink and pipes, which meant that Lugovoy had poured the polonium down the drain after he was finished with it.
Yeah.
The police now had a pretty good fucking point of view and understanding that Lugovoy and Kofton were the ones who carried out the hit.
They've got a bag to rope, surely.
But they needed to interview them. So Scotland Yard sent a team of officers down to Moscow to interview them. Because obviously with the whole, I don't know what the word is, but you can't just go into someone's country and just arrest someone.
So, part of the Geneva Convention.
Yeah, so they needed to interview him to see if they could catch him out, and then you need to extradite him, all that sort of shit.
Yeah.
Well, on the 4th of December 2006, Detective Inspector Brian Tarpey and his team had been briefed by MI6 on what to inspect in Moscow, such as things like the room being bugged or them setting traps, sort of thing. So Brian Tarpey left traps around the room so that he would know if anybody's been in there. And thankfully, they didn't come up.
Right.
Well, on the 5th of December, the team met with the Russian General Prosecutor in Moscow at the British Embassy.
Yeah.
Brian Tarpey and his team stated that they wished to interview both Lugovoy and Kofton and that they believe they are in a place called Nuclear Hospital No. 6. This is when the Russians started to become a bit difficult by saying that they'd never heard of this place, and how do Brian Tarpey and his team know what it is and where it is?
Yeah.
Which already is, you're thinking, it's like,
it's a bit
how do you know what that place is and where it is? Because I've never heard of it. Of course you haven't, mate. Of course you haven't. Well, that afternoon, they received a phone call telling them that they were at a place called Nuclear Hospital No. 6, and that they can do an interview, but that they was told that the interview must be finished by 10 o'clock. Now, just for a bit of a side note, Nuclear Hospital No. 6 was actually built to house and help the victims of the Chernobyl disaster.
Sounds right, yeah. I was going to say that's why I needed at least 6 hospitals.
Yeah. Well, at least 10 minutes after the call, Brian Tarpey and his team were in a van and they were being escorted to the hospital. Now, the journey there was an absolute nightmare, with the escorts first driving really, really fast so that the Brian Tarpey and them couldn't see really where they were going because they were just going so fucking quick. And then they ended up going really slow and kept doing like multiple U-turns and all this because apparently they didn't know where they was going.
Shock.
Yeah. Now, bearing in mind, the hospital is 20 minutes away from the hotel. It took them over 2 hours to get there.
Yeah.
So they were fucking them up from the get-go.
Yeah.
Now, when they finally did arrive at the hospital, just after 9 o'clock at night, bearing in mind that the interview had to be finished by 10,
yeah.
They was told under no circumstances would they be allowed to bring any recording devices with them into the interview, and only one Scotland Yard officer was permitted to enter and must be wearing a hazmat suit due to Covden apparently being treated for exposure to polonium.
It's all a bit sus.
Now, when he got in there, they couldn't act, because Brian Tarpey was the one that went in, he couldn't actually identify if the person was in fact Covden because he was covered up in bandages from head to toe with only his eyes showing. So that Donny could have been literally any motherfucker.
Anyone.
Well, just after 13 minutes, the doctor stopped the interview, saying that this Covden needed rest and all that sort of shit. But the whole time through the interview, the majority of the things he was only saying was, I do not recall. So he was basically no comment in them.
Yeah.
So as I said, Russia was theoretically fucking them about. But it was about to get even worse when the ITV News decided that this would be the perfect time to broadcast that Litvinenko's death was being treated as a murder inquiry.
Oh, for fuck's sake. See, this is what's the problem, right? When tabloids and stuff like that, news reporters, they get involved.
Exactly. They fuck it up.
They just fuck it up, and then it goes.
Exactly.
It'll end up going down the drain.
But
anyway.
This was apparently sanctioned by the British government to prevent ties with Russia being more damaged than what they already were at the time. So the British government said, yeah, okay, you can release that. And they went, all right, nice one. It's like, are you fucking morons?
So, but to not tarnish.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. I don't get how.
Right.
But, and then again, are they just saying this because they don't want a whole can of worms opening up?
Oh, yeah, and a light point.
Yeah. Because you think of fucking the embedded Russia and UK came after that. With the likes of your Roman Abramoviches and that all coming over to this country.
Yeah, true.
So from Russia's point of view, they thought that their nationalists were getting questioned as a witness. But because of what they saw on TV, that it was being a murder inquiry, they're now looking at it as their nationals are being questioned as suspects.
Yeah.
So that pissed Russia off big time.
Yeah, I can imagine.
The Russian government then stated that from the British side, they can see an attempt to use the criminal case and the need for professional investigation to politicise this affair, which is something that Russia do not stand by.
Nah.
Bit calling the pot kettle black when you fuckers can go into any country you want and kill anyone.
Yeah, that's alright, yeah.
Well, after 6 days of waiting, the interview with the second suspect, Andrei Lugovoy, was cancelled at short notice. Russia also announced that they couldn't re-interview Covden because his health was declining rapidly.
Uh-huh.
Well, that evening, Brian Tarpey and his team were offered tea by the Russian General Prosecutor.
Oh, they took it, they're fucking idiots.
To which Brian Tarpey drank.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
And that night, he was sick and had the shits. He believes that he was spiked with something to make him feel horrible to halt the investigation.
Yeah, I mean...
So maybe it was a case of, do you know what, I feel like crap, call the interview off, I can't be asked. How stupid. These cunts are meant to be the top donnies of dead things.
Yeah.
Litvinenko was one of the top donnies of the KGB. This guy is working for MI6.
Yeah.
How's your brain not functioning?
Surely that should be like rule number one. If someone offers you something, don't take it. Unless it's sealed.
Especially when you think this whole investigation, what's going on, that it started from a poisoning. You think, and you're blaming Russian nationalists, and then a Russian nationalist is giving you something to drink. Yeah, nice one. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, are you fucking mong? Well, the next day, on December 11th, Tarpey and his team were escorted back to the Nuclear Hospital 6 to do an interview with Andrei Lugovoy. They was told the same thing, that Lugovoy was apparently sick from polonium and that they couldn't take any recording equipment in there with them.
Why?
Well, it was also told that Russia would be recording the interview and that they would give the team a copy of it. And that the interview itself will be in Russian because Lugovoy spoke no English.
Oh, fuck off.
It's just getting more and more
Fuck
mad.
off. Saying that, Russians will record it. They'll give
Yeah.
you a copy. It won't be a full fucking copy.
No, exactly.
It's edited out. Fuck off.
Now, Tarpey said that when he interviewed Lugovoy, he did not look sick in the slightest. In fact, bearing in mind he was in hospital, and when you're admitted to hospital, you have to wear like hospital gowns and that. Yeah. This Donny was in his own clothes and everything. So that either they're bullshitting, or he had literally just turned up to the hospital.
Yeah.
Well, the interview took place, to which they was hoping that if the Russians had edited the audio Russians had edited the audio tape, it would be completely different to the answers that Lugovoy gave them that they wrote down.
Right.
Well, when the interview was done, Lugovoy apparently smirked at Tarpey and said in English, "Good luck with your investigation." Bearing in mind, this cunt don't speak English.
Oh, yeah, nah.
This is why, because they did this in the TV show as well. And I was watching it with my mum, and I turned around and said, this is why I couldn't be an investigator.
Yeah.
Because if they've told me this cunt can't speak English, and I think everyone knows this cunt done it, and then he turns around in English smirking at you, go, good luck with the investigation, I'd want to leap over the table and pound his fucking head in.
Yeah.
So that's why I was I couldn't be an investigator, because I'm like, you fucking cunt.
Oh, fuck, I don't know.
The teams was then given the tapes, to which there was like a handover sort of thing, and that was being filmed. And then when they returned to England, they handed the tapes over to the forensics, and they discovered that the tape with Lugovoy's interview had not been handed over by Russia.
No, of course not.
Well, 1 month after his death, Litvinenko's body was still so radioactive that it had to be placed in a lead-lined coffin for burial, which is what they did with the victims of Chernobyl as well.
Yeah, of course.
Now, after all of this, the police still needed concrete proof of how polonium was passed over.
Yeah.
Scotland Yard expert said that there would be no trace of polonium left on anything that had been washed 42 times in the dishwasher since the incident.
Right.
And that they was basically told not to bother checking because you'd just be wasting your time. Thankfully, the head of Scotland Yard, this what's his name? I can't remember.
No.
Well, thankfully, he went, nah, fuck it, test them anyway. Because they, when they did check, they had full-scale detections on the teapot used by Cofton and Lugovoy.
Yeah.
So with all of this, they now basically had these two cunts banged to rights.
Yeah.
So all the evidence was handed over to the Crown Prosecution. And 5 months later, the CPS formally sought the extradition of Lugovoy on charge of murder. However, in 2007, Lugovoy became a member of the Russian parliament, which gave him immunity from prosecution. These cunts just cannot catch a break.
No. But you got to give it to the Russians. They're fucking clever.
Yeah,
They've worked
royally.
They've made them look.
That's what they said when I was watching this documentary about it. The guy that was running this said, "What do I think?" He said, "They said, what did you think about this when this whole Russian things?" He said, literally, the one thing that was going through my head is, the fuckers have played us like a fiddle.
Yeah.
I was like, the Russians must feel big about that. It's like, we've played MI6 like a bunch of mongs. It's like, have that, you mug.
Yeah. Fuck's sake. They said he couldn't take the recording device. He said, everyone's seen Mission Impossible. You get them little fucking... you'd think they'd find a way.
Yeah.
Oh, mate. They fucking wind you up, now.
Well, during this time, the then Home Secretary, Theresa May, ruled out a public inquiry, fearing that it would damage relations with Russia. However, in 2014, under the pressure from the High Court, she changed her mind. Well, more than 8 years after his death, the public inquiry into Litvinenko's death was finally opened. And the verdict concluded that Lugovoy and Cofton were responsible for the murder of Litvinenko under the order of Vladimir Putin. Now, obviously, hooray, they figured it out, but they can't do nothing about it.
No.
Because, obviously, Putin's the president of Russia, Lugovoy's fucking head of state, and Cofton's been... Well, fuck knows what Cofton is. Bearing in mind that these two are apparently exposed to polonium. We saw what it done to Litvinenko, but these two are still alive today.
Yeah. That's a bit weird. But surely, right? Because can't that be a class as an act of terrorism?
I think in a roundabout sort of way it can. But again, there's not really much you can do about it because, especially the UK, yeah, okay, you've proven this. Are you really going to start a war with Russia?
Well, yeah, but then it becomes like a nation's. Oh, what's it called? Not
But I think this is where that whole, you remember from the Gareth Williams one, where I said they had to boot all the oligarchs out and all this sort of shit and like basically wash their hands of Russia. This is where it stemmed from.
Right.
So I think they've done the best they can with
what they got.
Yeah, with what they got without avoiding, like whilst trying to avoid war.
Right, fair.
Well, Marina Litvinenko stated that this is an amazing victory because even though nobody has been charged, everybody knows who killed her husband and who gave the order. And now the entire world knows exactly who Vladimir Putin truly is. Which where you look nowadays, she was fucking bang on it.
Yeah, warmonger.
Yeah.
He's
Now, this was officially the most complex, the most dangerous, and the most technically demanding investigation ever undertaken by British law enforcement. So that is why I had to cover it.
Yeah.
Because it's just a fucking mindfuck. It is just...
He's put it in.
No.
It is, but it's like all the answers are there.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but he's just trying to get him. He's just trying to bang him. He's just
if they caught him whilst he was in the UK, they got him.
Yeah,
there's fuck all Russia can do about it.
No,
which is what you've seen in previous cases, where I know we mentioned it before with that Sergei Skripal, who was a Russian double agent, but actually working for the UK, was in Russia at the time, was arrested in Russia, and the UK could do nothing about it until that exchange over happened.
Yeah.
And then even then they tried to kill him.
Yeah.
So that's just two blatantly obvious attacks Russia have caused on UK soil.
Well, yeah, because you got
like I mentioned other ones, but these two are concrete proof they fucking did it.
Yeah.
It just goes to show these lot will not, if they want something quiet, they will stop at nothing.
You better don't do it very fucking quiet.
No, they are not. At the same time, they're quite fucking useless.
Yeah.
Seeing it took them two attempts to kill Litvinenko with one of the deadliest substances on the planet.
Yeah.
And with the Skripal, they're still alive.
Yeah.
So even though
that's another chunk one, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the Salisbury one. So even though you've got these big bad motherfuckers that will just attempt to kill anyone, they ain't your fucking best at it, are they?
Well, no, they can't do it sneaky. They'd rather go in with an AK or something.
Yeah, exactly. If it was up to them, they'd be fucking stoned in the streets, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But
fuck's sakes.
It just goes, it's so mad. I know I mentioned it a few times now with the likes of Chernobyl, that Gareth Williams one, this. But the Russian government are just on another level.
Yeah.
Of everything. Just war crimes, insanity, the lot.
Yeah, they're fucked.
They are just
mental.
on another fucking level.
They are mental people. And like you say, it's because they are massive and everything. They feel like they can get away with everything.
They really do feel they're untouchable.
And in a way, they are.
They are. Look at what's happening with Ukraine.
Yeah.
Any other country did that would be repelled instantly.
Yeah.
But because it's them,
it's that fear.
It is that fear.
They've got it.
And I think as well, the more you read about this sort of stuff, and you hear Putin saying the things like, I will use nukes and that. Me personally, I don't think he ever would. But you couldn't put it past the cunt.
No, that's what I mean.
It's like no wonder they're like, fucking hell.
Yeah, because you can always say, nah, I don't think you will, until he does.
Until he does it.
And then we're standing there seeing these fucking nukes coming towards us.
Yeah, you can't say, okay, I'm sorry, take it back.
Yeah.
It's just, mate. I mean, you look at everything that's happened under his regime. I mean, for starters, he should have been out of presidency long ago.
Yeah.
He was the one that decided, nah, the presidency election thing's gone.
Yeah.
I'm staying until I want to go.
Yeah. He's pretty much brought it back as a dictatorship.
And as well, I forgot to mention, all this time during this whole Litvinenko case, he is on national TV saying about Litvinenko and saying, well, he had nothing to do with it. It's like, so I don't know why the British are pointing the fingers at us and all this sort of shit. So, no wonder it was the most dangerous, because then you've got to send a team of British investigators into his backyard
to
point the finger at two of his
subordinates.
Yeah. And then try and arrest them. You're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. Oh, fucking hell. That is crazy. See,
I think the only reason that these guys managed to get back to the UK alive is because it would be out and out proof then.
Yeah.
I think if it was up to them, these guys like Brian Tarpey and that would have suspiciously gone missing.
Yeah, their plane would have
gone down, or the car would have crashed, or something like that. Yeah. It's like, well, we don't know where he is.
Yeah.
But I think because of everything that was going on, it was a bit like, we can't really get away with that.
Yeah, well, we better let him go home.
Yeah. But they figured out the next best thing. It's like, yeah, we'll give you all the tapes, except from the major one that you need. We'll give you them all.
Yeah. Thing is, right, this is why I stick to fucking monsters and animals, because they're easy.
Yeah.
They're just there. They want to kill you.
Yeah.
They want to eat you. Job done. You know, with these...
You really don't know what the fuck they want.
No, that's it. Like, do you want us dead or not?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They try and be sneaky about it. These fuckers don't.
But like I've mentioned on a load of conspiracy episodes that we've covered, especially the ones with like governments and that, if this is what they tried to hide, what the fuck were they successful with?
Yeah.
And that's not just on about the Russian government, that's on about every fucking government.
Exactly.
People wonder why I don't trust them.
Yeah.
And people wonder when they say, well, why aren't you voting? This is why.
Yeah.
If they are willing, I know this was Russia, but the UK were involved, and the UK have fucking got bare skeletons in their closet as well. I mean, every fucking nation has.
Yeah.
But if they were willing to try and cover this up, what the fuck else were they doing?
Yeah.
Why do you think I'm not voting for them? Because I don't trust a single fucking one of them.
No.
Fuck that for a laugh.
No. That's the thing. These people that are running countries, like they're supporting billions of people. Like,
it just reminded me of this podcast I watched with a guy called. I'm sorry, let me get his name. Not Ronnie Pickering. It's not Ronnie Pickering at all.
Hardest man in hell.
Oh, what is it? Bobby Cummins.
Yeah, you're right off.
Yeah,
Claire boy.
And this guy was one of the he was a main gangster face during the craze era and all that. Well, he actually ended up becoming an OBE and was constantly invited to the Houses of Parliament for like his charity work and all that sort of stuff. Right. And he said that when he first got there, an MP come up to him and said, "How do you feel about being here with your background in that?" And this Bobby Cummins turned around and went, "I feel right at home." Uh-huh. And this MP was like, "Why?" He said, "Because I've dealt with gangsters all my life." I thought that was the coldest fucking thing. Like, fuck you.
Yeah, that's a proper
mic drop. You think, but it's bang on the money though. Yeah. They are.
Oh, yeah, the
they are the biggest organised crime going.
Yeah, of course they are. Of course they are. That's what they are.
Exactly.
That's exactly what they are.
That's why I find it so brilliant when they talk about things like, oh, knife crime bad, which it is. Everything I'm saying I agree with, right? Yeah. Like the likes of knife crime bad, gun crime bad. You know, criminals are out of control and that. But it's like, you actually looked in the mirror, you sick cunts.
Yeah.
It doesn't take a genius to work out how to dwindle these things down.
No.
It's just you lot are lining your fucking pockets and you won't do it. Because it's financially benefiting you.
Yeah.
If you really cared about this country, or any other country for that matter, I'll specifically talk about UK, seeing we are in the UK, and it's a UK season. But when you hear them talk about all this thing as, we want to do better, we want to make this country the way it should be. It doesn't take a fucking genius to work out. Pay the NHS what they fucking deserve.
Exactly.
Pay schools and, up the school thing, do you know what I mean? Actually teach schools what they should be fucking learning.
Yeah.
Teach, invest in the, I don't know what, literally in the slum areas, your estates and that. Give them the opportunities they fucking need.
Exactly.
You can't expect them to turn around and just miraculously
make something out of nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what you see so many, especially your hoodie gangsters, you know what I mean, sort of things. And they say, we didn't want this life.
No.
It's like, but we have no other choice.
No.
And I know there'll be people out there thinking, yeah, but you don't have to do it. But put yourself in their shoes. You've been living on this estate. You have no money to your name.
Yeah.
And then you see a guy, and you've tried to get jobs and that, and you haven't been able to because of your appearance, your background, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, where you're from.
And then you see a guy from that estate in a fucking unreal Merc, jewellery up to fuck, cash at his hip, all that. You think, I want that. And he's like, how did you get that? It's like, well, I sell this.
Yeah.
And you think, fucking hell, quickest way to make money, I'm doing it.
exactly.
It's like, it don't take a genius to work out.
No, because thing is that I have this, because with my old man who's 73, and he's still working.
That's what I mean.
And, he's very proud, as am I, and he said, I'd rather be skinned than to do drug dealing and stuff like that. But then I've said to him, I said, because I'd never do it. Fuck it, I'd give up. Yeah. But I said to him, it's the only way now people are actually making money.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually making money. It's out of property.
Yeah.
And with property, you've got to have money to then buy property.
Yeah, exactly.
So a way to actually, you can't just go like with a tradesman or something like that. You can't just go to work, earn money, and then be able to save it because of how life is now. Because of how expensive life is now. People are trying to do side hustles. Like we are. Yeah. We're trying to do side hustles and stuff like that. But it's such a hard thing to get off the ground, whereas something like that, it's like you can understand why people do it.
Yeah, because they feel like they've got no other option.
No.
Especially even like beyond that, when you look at people when they come out of prisons and that.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, the reason they reoffend isn't because of, it's just my life. It's because they've got that stability. They're getting 3 meals a day. They've got a roof over their heads.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's in a prison cell. You haven't got necessarily your freedom.
No.
But on the outside, it's I go to prison where I get like the roof over my head, my 3 meals a day, I get exercise, I get learn stuff, all that sort of shite. Or I come out of prison with not a penny to my name, not a house, I won't be able to get a job because I've got a conviction.
Yeah.
Why would I not reoffend and go set straight back?
Exactly.
So it's like, how are people like me and you and other people realising this, but the government are turning a blind eye to it? Yeah. Because they know about it. It doesn't take a fucking... If we can figure it out, they definitely can.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
The only reason they won't is because it's not lying in their pockets.
No.
They're just money-hungry bastards.
Yeah, that's all it is. The glory hunters.
Yeah.
All the time. They say they're going to do this. Especially when you see with the NHS and everything.
That is on its fucking knees.
Because Lewis, who's been on this podcast enough, that boy works like
a motherfucker.
Works like fuck. And Jess as well, who's midway,
yeah, exactly.
Works like fuck. And even that, and Lewis is working every day he can.
Yeah.
He worked Christmas Day. He's working New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Possibly New Year's Day. I'm not 100%. No.
New Year's Eve he's
New Year's
working.
Eve he's working. And like you say, they're you see them and they're so tired.
Yeah.
They're knackered. They were with ambulance and that, they have their times at 6 till 6, but sometimes they don't finish till
that's what Lewis says. He says it's very, very rare.
Yeah.
That they've
they actually do their time.
As a matter of fact, his branch, I won't say what branch because I'm not going to out him and you know what I mean, but his branch that he works with are one of the only ones of the branches out of the NHS that didn't go on strike.
Yeah.
In fact, what they done was normally, because like you said, they were working 6 till 6, they end up coming home about 9:30. At 6 o'clock, they would stop the shift.
Yeah.
So that people realised how much overtime and that work they actually do.
And these are people that are sacrificing their lives to care for us, and they're getting no help.
On top of that, right, I know it's because we know them both, so it's more personal, and there's going to be thousands upon thousands of stories like this. But you look at, Lewis, working Christmas Day, working New Year's Eve, he's recently married.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They want to spend time together.
Yeah.
Jess just not long had a child.
Yeah.
She's going to want to spend time with her.
Yeah.
And they can't.
Yeah. No.
As much as they want to because of this shite.
Yeah. Because they're
so overworked and understaffed and underpaid.
Yeah. Big time.
They're fucked.
Yeah. And but a lot of the time, like with Lewis, because we see more of Lewis, but he don't moan about it.
No.
Because he does it because he cares.
Exactly. And you will rarely find someone truly moaning from the NHS.
Yeah.
They're obviously they're just drained.
Yeah, because I've seen,
and they're not going to be happy with it. But they ain't going to go, oh, fucking hell. Do you know what I mean? Never.
No, because you've seen it when it was through the COVID pandemic.
Oh,
there were nurses who were still working, and they were in tears because of how tired they were.
Exactly.
But
they're still going.
After that interview was done, they still went back to work.
You're like, what the fuck?
Right, and even though, right, I'll get it on, because me and you love football.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know exactly what I'm going to
Yeah.
say. How some of these footballers are earning like 300k a week, 400k a week.
They're kicking a leather bag of air.
Yeah, that is the grand scheme
I don't
of it.
mind. I know they're earning that money because of the revenue they're bringing in. But you'd think, in like UK or whatever, they'd put like them on a tax rebate sort of thing.
Yeah.
I know they are on the high wage bracket,
Yeah,
but you'd think...
yeah.
But the thing is, they're taking it out of their pocket and giving it to the government. And they're putting it in their pocket.
Exactly.
Instead of it being like, right, let's say, for argument's sake, me and you were professional footballers, we earn 300 grand a week, okay? Realistically, a week, 100 grand is more than enough.
Well, 300 grand a week is 40%.
Yeah,
so
right?
40% of that, hang on, I will work this out, 300, so 30k, 30 times 3. Take 120k off.
Yeah, right?
So what's that? So that's 280k they still take home.
Exactly, right? So with that 120k, 100 of that, or whatever, 80, 70, 60, whatever, to the NHS. Another bit of that to, like, help me think.
Like,
just
to projects.
Yeah, to projects and, like, stabilities and, like...
Yeah.
And then the rest of it to, like, the poor areas.
Yeah.
And all that sort of thing. Why isn't that done? Seriously, it pisses me off so much.
But that's like, because Liz Truss, right, she was in power for
45 days.
44 days. So iceberg lettuce last longer than that.
Yeah.
Literally. But because she was in power, she's going to be getting over £120,000 a year.
Exactly.
Because she was in power.
And she done
fuck
jack
all.
shit.
She made things worse.
Yeah.
So things like that.
And this is why it pisses me off when you see these elections and they're saying things, we're going to do this, we're going to do that.
Yeah.
No, you're not. We all know you're fucking not.
I'm going to upset people. The only person who kind of come to it was Boris Johnson when he said, well, I'll get us out of the EU. Which he has done. He says,
he got us out of it. It was a shit show, but he got us out of it.
He got us out of it, and then plus he had COVID to deal on top of that.
But then on top of that, right, with the likes of Brexit and that, where we were promised so much to the NHS, the second the vote come out that we were leaving the EU, they turned around and went, well, we didn't say it was specifically going to that.
Yeah.
It's like, are you guys actually fucking vermin?
Yeah.
It's you guys are really on another level of cunt.
Yeah.
You're your own definition. There's not a word created to describe you lot.
No. And they think that they're becoming a joke.
Yeah.
And people are taking the piss out of them. And a lot of people are like, oh, well, I wonder why people are like this. Is there a fucking wonder?
Yeah.
Is there really a wonder? Because when, like, you've got people who work... I'm not saying about myself, but there is people out there, like parents to young kids who are working 7 days a week.
Exactly.
And they can still barely provide.
Yeah.
And they're not, how is that right?
And they're not thinking about the future potential repercussions of the likes of, like you said, you've got a family that's working constantly and you've got a little kid. So that little kid's growing up with, I don't know, childminders or school, like daycares or, you know, all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So he's not getting that family bond with his parents.
No.
That's going to mentally fuck that kid up.
That's when.
So when it gets older, it becomes another one of those statistics that ends up on the prison system and all that.
Exactly.
It's just a vicious circle and it needs breaking.
It does.
But it's never going to fucking happen.
No.
You can have every Prime Minister, I know, like, who's the fucking Labour MP, Donny? What's his name?
I've completely come away from it all.
But like all of them and your backbenchers where they come, like you see like in the meetings of the House of Commons where they're lambasting the fucking whoever's running the government, 9 times out of 10 it's a Tory government.
Yeah.
You see like the Labour Party going, you're doing this and you said that, you're doing this, where if it was roles reversed it'd be the exact same thing. You would not change anything in the slightest, regardless of what you say in your fucking portfolio, or what's the word I'm looking for?
Campaign.
Yeah, your campaign sort of thing. Regardless of what you say in that, you and I both know that will never, ever fucking happen.
Nah.
Because 1, you don't have the money.
Yeah.
2, you're not a miracle worker.
Nah.
And 3, even if you had both of those things, you still wouldn't, because you'd be making the money from it.
Yeah, because
it don't affect you, so what's it fucking matter?
No, exactly. And what annoys me as well, so you see all these MPs and that, none of them have had to live hard lives.
Nah.
None of them have had to get try and scrub mud from their hands and oil and grease Like, they've never had to have parents go out and work till midnight, so you barely see them. They've never had hard lives. They've never had to have it where you don't know if you're going to eat or have warmth.
Exactly.
You know, they've been in the ivory towers all their fucking lives.
And I know.
They're telling us how to fucking live.
And I know, okay, all right, no one could have predicted COVID. Right?
No.
That whole thing, I could be here all day, but they could have handled that a lot better than they could have. Realistically.
They could have handled it better, but they could have handled it a lot worse.
Yeah. I'm not going to say they did utter shite.
No.
But they didn't exactly do spot on perfect either. In fact, no country did.
Well, apart from New Zealand.
Well, yeah, but I think that is because that's so far out of the way. But even then, when we was coming out of lockdown, that's when the waves were starting to hit them.
Yeah.
So even they weren't the fucking best.
No.
I think even last Christmas, Australia was in a lockdown.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it was, yeah.
So, do you know what I mean? No one could have predicted that. But at the same time, you must have known when you see things like this, like when things like COVID and that happen, and you know financially there's going to be a big drop afterwards.
Yeah.
Which is what we're seeing now with the cost of living crisis and that.
Yeah.
You must think, what the fuck are you doing there? The whole point of a government is to build a better future for that country.
Yeah.
So you must have things like this, like contingency plans in place for when these sort of things occur.
Yeah.
Not knowing when it happens, but when it does happen, you're not thinking, fuck, what do we do? You're thinking, right, okay, we do this, we do this, we do this.
Yeah.
No matter what people say, whether they agree or disagree, we stick to this plan and we'll see how it ends up in the end.
Yeah.
If it don't work, then we hold our hands up and say, yeah, okay, we fucked up. Sorry. We'll be better next time. But they are literally sitting there with their heads up their asses, not doing anything.
No.
Not realising that, I mean, COVID's still happening nowadays. What's going to be the next big thing?
Exactly.
Whether it be a virus or a terrorist attack or a war or anything. What's going to happen then?
No.
Because I don't trust this government to get us out of fucking anything.
No.
I wouldn't trust this government to run a fucking Asda, let alone a country.
No, exactly. And I just sit... I just piss me off.
Royally.
It just right piss me off. Because even I think with COVID and that, like, they pretty much said this is we're going to have repercussions.
Yeah.
But surely by now they've repaid it.
Yeah.
Because they're saying about furlough and everything. Right?
Yeah.
But surely we've a lot of it has got to have been repaid.
Surely. But then you look at this whole living crisis with the energy bills and all that shit.
Yeah, but it hasn't got anything to do with the government. Like, it's the energy providers what are coining it in.
Yeah.
Because there was even a map at where it had like different price, like all the prices and everything, and we're paying like nearly 200%.
Exactly.
Whereas other countries aren't.
This is what I mean. And I've seen so many people with the energy crisis turning around and saying it's because of the Russia war in Ukraine. It's not.
No.
Because if you look at, like you said with that chart and that, we get 2% of our oil from Russia.
Yeah.
France get 25%. And they're sitting there going, yeah, we're all right.
Yeah.
They ain't in an energy crisis.
That's what I mean.
And we get 2%. How the fuck can that 2% have crippled us this bad? It's not gonna.
It's a it's a bloke behind his desk, or a woman, whatever, behind their desk saying we're going to coin in off this, boys.
Yeah.
We're going to have a fucking good, we're going to have a good drink.
I saw something, and it said to try and tackle the prices of energy crisis, the UK ought to be prepared in January to have multiple blackouts from 7 o'clock onwards during the week. What do you mean?
Oh, no.
What do you fucking mean, energy blackouts? I know there's people going to be sitting there going, yeah, I'm pissed, I ain't going to be able to watch Emmerdale. But think of it bigger.
Yeah.
If there's blackouts, and especially it's going to be mainly the major cities that are going to get it. So that means now the NHS are going to have to work even harder because they're going to have to use like backup generators to keep like your things like your ICU machines and that working.
Yeah.
Your fucking banks and that are going to need to use it to keep the cash and that secure. All this sort of shit. It's like, oh my God, this country is on its fucking knees. The more I think about it, we are truly fucked right now.
The world is fucked.
The world is fucked.
The world is completely fucked. This is why I think I love going into my things, because it's like it's an escape from reality because of how shit reality is.
Exactly.
I'll say it all the time. If I could, I would pack my stuff up. I'd go and live in the fucking woods and live off the land.
Yeah.
I ain't got to worry about
fucking
all.
anything.
I ain't got to worry about governments. As long as I've got a fucking deer to shoot, you know,
Yeah.
fresh water source and a bit of heat from fire.
I'm good.
I'm good.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, I've got.
You've got to literally worry about stuff that is happening, has happened,
Yeah.
or is gonna happen, just to try and make ends meet.
Yeah, that
It's
is
like, this is no way to live.
no.
No way to fucking live.
And
then when you see the likes of Elon Musk coming out and saying that it's actually role reversed, there isn't an overpopulation crisis, there's actually an underpopulation crisis.
Fuck off.
But let's just say, for argument's sake, it's true. No fucking wonder. Because realistically, it's not the. I've got to be careful how I word this. It's no reason. Help me.
No wonder.
Yeah, it's no wonder why people are turning around and going, "Well, I'm not going to have a kid."
Yeah,
Because I can't financially afford to look after them with the way the planet's going.
exactly.
So if he is right, no fucking wonder.
Yeah. Governments are actually killing the human race.
Yeah.
It's,
Which they've been doing since day dot.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, for anyone that doesn't believe us or anything, or you've got your own opinions, please let us know. But just answer this one question. Name one government through any era that done nothing wrong. There isn't one.
no. Like,
I know, yeah, okay, people are going to make mistakes. That's genuine.
Yeah.
But when you look at the obvious fucking flaws, and the only people that are benefiting from it are the people that should be dealing with the problem in the first place,
Yeah.
it doesn't take a genius to work out who's at fault.
Don't get me wrong. If the government are doing their job, yeah, they should have a higher wage.
Yeah.
Than a lot of people. I'm not disputing that because
No.
they are running the country.
Yeah, of course.
But when they're actually they're pretty much literally taking food out of kids' mouths.
Yeah,
That's where I have a
that's
problem.
when your issue becomes.
That's
it's
where I have a
like,
problem.
You really are just a bunch of fucking leeches.
Yeah.
That's the perfect word to describe them. A
Leeches.
leech. You're fucking leeches.
That's
You're
it.
sucking on for dear life. Don't fucking care about who you're sucking. Not this sounds a bit mad, but do you know what I mean?
And we're not even on about black and orange.
Yeah.
Fucking wrap up.
Fucking Jesus Christ.
But yeah, Litvinenko, sad day. Sad
Yeah.
bloke.
But fair play. He used his death as a reason to prove to people
Yeah.
what the fuck they were dealing with. And even then, it still took a while. And now we're looking back going, well,
yeah.
he may have been right. It's like, oh dear.
Yeah.
Which, going back on that, right? I don't know if he has or not. But how has no one attempted to assassinate this cunt if no one has?
Who, Putin?
Yeah.
He's got too many people looking out for him.
I know, but you'd think someone would try something.
Yeah.
That's all this cunt needs, a bullet in his head.
Yeah, but you could say the same with Kim Jong-un from North Korea.
Yeah. He's gonna be quiet though, isn't he? What's he planning?
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's when they are quiet, that's when you got to worry.
Yeah.
But no, but you think, because North Korea is a far smaller country,
Mm-hmm.
you'd think it'd be easy to go at him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if they
Especially
have,
when he tried going on with the United States.
yeah.
No wonder Trump was going, go on then.
Odds on.
I was like, yeah, I've got a fucking, what is it, a 1 million man army. Right. Cool.
That's one division of ours, mate.
Yeah. You're still 4'2". 4 foot tall. Shut your mouth.
Yeah.
Fucking little garden gnome, mate.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, if no one's tried to assassinate him, being like such a small country,
Yeah.
it's a wonder why no one's gone
For Putin.
Gone for Putin. Like, it's just
One of his guards. That's who they need. One of his guards to
Just-
turn and see what he's like, and then him pull the trigger.
But the thing is, like, I imagine, like, especially like his guys, like, they're living a life of luxury.
Oh, of course they fucking are.
You know what I mean?
Of course
they're
they
living
are.
the best life. They're giving their lives for that man.
Yeah.
Because the people closest around him are living life. Whereas,
I think as well, they've sort of got no choice. Because they've already seen, if he's willing to turn on his mates like with the oligarchs and that, what the fuck would he do to me?
exactly.
Mate, if I was under his fucking guard and I'm seeing what he's doing with his mates, if he asked for a blowjob, I'd give him the best fucking blowjob of his life. Mate, I'd do anything to make sure this cunt ain't killing me.
You've heard it here first. See what Josh is willing to do. Jesus Christ, it's getting dark.
I'm just saying, that cunt wanted me to do fucking anything. I'm doing it. I am not saying no to this guy. Fuck that.
Fucking rap. Jesus Christ.
Fuck you know.
But no, well, I'll just say, look, we're not trying to cause arguments.
No, of course we're not.
Because at the end of the day, it's just two mates who are just
having a
chat.
Yeah,
having a chat. Like, that's all it is. So we're not political people.
No,
I'm far from it. I'm fucking backwards as they fucking go. You know what I mean? I'm a hillbilly, so it don't matter fuck what I think. You know, and so, but it's just I just can't see a good end to it.
Nah.
For the normal
I think that's what the issue is. Not trying to go back onto that's just what I'm going to finish off with. But that's the point where you said, like, you know, you're far from like up to date with all this stuff. But even if people are like you are noticing enough's enough, and this is beyond a fucking joke, something needs to change.
Oh god, yeah. Yeah, God, oh god, yeah. If it's getting to the point where the normal working man is fucking scraping by, what the fuck? Well, it's like it was always say you earn, like, you work to live.
Yeah,
you're living to work now.
Yeah,
and of course, but in a way, it's worked to the government's favour. They've got us all by the short and curtains.
Yep.
We've got to go to work and do stuff like this just to provide them to then give us. It's like we're doing all this to give them the banquet, and we get the scraps.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
It is such a fucking farce.
Animals don't realise, do they?
No.
How good they've got it.
Yeah.
Especially like dogs, right?
Yeah.
I was looking at my dog earlier, and I was honest because he was asleep, and I'm just looking at him going, you really don't know how good you've got it, do you?
They haven't got
your
clue.
Fucking whole thing is, let me out, I need a shit. When are you feeding me? Give me a belly rub.
Yeah.
I'd love to have that life. You ain't got to worry about fuck all.
No.
I was like, you lucky bastard.
That's what I mean. We're meant to be the most intelligent creatures out there, but we're literally paying for water.
That's what I mean. That's what I fucking mean.
You know what I mean?
Oh, I wish I was an animal.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Like, it always makes me laugh because like when I watch like, a lot of my programs and that, and if there's hillbillies on there, they always say how stupid they are.
Yeah.
Mate, are they?
No,
because they do everything what they want. They don't got a fucking clue what's going on.
No.
They live their happy lives. They go out, they fucking make moonshine or whatever. You know, they get pissed up, have a fight.
They're living life.
Yeah, they're
buzzing.
They're kind of people. And it's like when you see like these like tribes and everything, they're the happiest people fucking going. You know,
they got to worry about fuck all.
No, because they don't know greed.
No.
That's you know what I mean.
You don't miss what you've never had.
Exactly.
So if they ain't had all this shit.
Like I was saying, like with fucking hillbillies and that, they don't know greed because they're lucky of what they've got. They're happy of what they've got, and it's first world problems.
Yeah.
You know, like with the energy crisis, that it's first world problems. Yeah. But we know it's because we've got so used to.
Yeah, we've grown up with no different.
No.
That we know no different. So when you're threatening to get it taken away, you think, hang on a fucking minute.
This isn't fair.
Yeah. What have I done?
Yeah.
You're the knobhead that fucked up. Why am I getting tarnished for it?
Whereas, like I say, like with tribes and fucking hillbillies and that, they couldn't give a fuck. Because like you say, they get born with fuck all, they die with fuck all, but they're happy doing it.
So big up.
Yeah.
Big up the hillbillies, big up the tribes, big up the animals.
Yeah, exactly.
Salute you.
Yeah.
You lucky bastards.
And I always, there's a quote from our God, Steve Irwin, I always think about. He said, because he said, like, someone said to him about, like, what, like, do you prefer crocodiles or humans? And he says, crocodiles. Crocodiles are easy. They just want to kill you.
Yeah.
People want to be your friend first.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I a lot of the time I do live by that because you always get, like, we always try to keep our circles small or whatever. But like you say, like, big up the animals and that, because animals are easy. They survive.
Yeah.
They learn. That is just how they are. Whereas people go different routes. So they a lot of the times they want to be your friend and everything, but then they want to fuck you up at the same time.
Which is why I think dogs are, like how it said, a man's best friend.
Yeah.
You give them your undivided attention, your love and your trust, they will give it back tenfold.
Yeah.
When have you ever heard of a dog stabbing you in the back?
Exactly.
It never happens.
No. No, like, yeah, you hear about, like, dogs snapping.
But 9 times out of 10 it's to protect their owner.
Yeah.
They never just do it out of impulse, or you're pissing them off and you're not recognising the signs.
No, exactly.
But if do you know what I mean? You know each other's boundaries.
Yeah.
That dog's going to love you to the day it dies.
Yeah.
And it's going to love you as, like, more than you've ever felt in your life.
Exactly. It's like, you ever see that picture? It was a man walking his dog.
Mm.
And it had a speech bubble, but a thought bubble.
Yeah.
And they're walking in this nice view. And the man's one had like a new mobile phone, new car, new house, and all that. In the dog's one, the dog had one, and it was just a view because it's just living life.
Oh, exactly, that's what I mean.
When people are going to realise, like, yeah, it is shit what is going on, but you just got to start living your life.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, we've only got one. Make the most of the fucking.
Exactly. You spend
time
time fucking sitting there feeling sorry for yourself. You're gonna worry yourself to an early grave.
That, and you make yourself very bitter.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I'll admit, like last few months, especially with work and everything, I became bitter.
Yeah,
I'll admit that. I could see it in myself. Like, someone would say something, it'd be like, it'd piss me off, and then I'd have to talk myself out of it.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Stop being a twat.
The amount of times I've done that where it's like the slightest thing that shouldn't even remotely annoy you, but it just drives you so mad, and it's just constantly playing in your head over and over again until that other side. It's like the age and the devil thing.
Yeah.
Till that other side goes, mate, get a grip.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? What are you fucking worrying about?
Yeah, exactly.
Or what are you getting so angry about? You think, actually, yeah, why am I getting so angry?
Yeah. That's what I mean. You just got to start just enjoying yourself. Just enjoy life, what we've got.
Exactly.
If stuff gets taken away, gets taken away. Enjoy what you do have and make the most of it. Whilst you got it.
And you know the best way to enjoy life? Listen to Myths and Mysteries in black and white.
Exactly. Speaking of which, you can... I love that.
That was perfect.
How was that? You can follow us on Facebook, Mr. Mysteries in black and white. You can follow us on Instagram, Mr. Mysteries _. You can email us. At mrmysteries@outlook.com. You can subscribe and watch us on YouTube, which is Mr. Mysteries. But the best way to see us, because there's a bastard to find, is go through the link on our Facebook, which again is Mr. Mysteries in black and white.
We've said it countless times. You should know it by now.
Exactly. And also, you can listen to us at Josh.
Podbean, Spotify, Amazon, Samsung, Player FM, Podchaser, and iHeartRadio.
Yeah. Because then with that, you boost us up.
Yeah.
And you'll
we
enjoy
give to you, you give to us.
Exactly.
That's how it works.
Exactly. We give you great content. You
give us views. That's all we need.
And listens.
Yeah.
But no. Yeah, so I went a bit fucking deep at the end.
I did a bit, yeah.
Fucking hell. About Yemenlenko, then we just start fucking into governments. Jesus Christ.
Well.
Fuck it.
What else do you expect from us?
Yeah, we ain't got actually that bad of tangents like this one. So,
No.
Okay, now. What's happening?
I know, we need to get back to it. That's
us.
us. That is us.
Don't you worry, boy. Next week we'll be back.
Yeah.
To it.
What are we doing next week?
Oh, well, funny fucking saying. Next week we're going to be talking about the Cornish owl man.
Oh?
Which is Britain's own Mothman.
Ooh.
Mate, someone done a picture of it and it looks fucking terrifying.
Oh, God.
It actually, look, if you saw that, you'd shit yourself. So, yeah, we're going to be talking about the Cornish owl man.
Big up owl man.
Which has only been seen, I think, twice.
Oh, fucking hell.
So, yeah, it might not be an incredibly long episode, but I just want to...
I don't know. When we start talking about it, it might be.
Yeah. Yeah, true. Yeah, true. Turns out I'd be like,
I was going to say, come on, look at the Mothman one. We was on about him, and then we started going on about his bunda. Do you know what I mean? Like,
actually, I didn't.
Well, he's got cake. Yeah. Mothman's got cake.
You and Courtney did, and I thought I'm going to have to knock Mothman out and let him try and take my wife away from me. I thought, fucking hell.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, but it's Britain's own fucking Mothman.
Brilliant.
Why is it, right? America's get some. We were like, well, we want it.
Yeah.
So we like, they have Mothman. We have Owlman.
Big up. Fuck
yeah. Oh, we got Bigfoot. Well, we've got fucking Bigfoot. But we had Nessie first.
Yeah.
So fuck you.
Oh, God.
The thing is, though, they have like Wendigos and Skinwalkers. What do we have?
Pigeons.
Yeah. That's good.
You see the pigeon? No one fucks. You go into any town or city and try and mess with a pigeon, they will fuck you up, bro.
I've literally seen a kid, like kids chasing.
Yeah.
I've literally seen a kid chased by a pigeon.
That's what I mean. They do not give a fuck. That is their end.
A kid started chasing it, and it started running off, but you could just see it like twig, like fuck
this. Yeah.
It started chasing them.
We're living in their fucking house.
Yeah.
They are in the streets.
Yeah, exactly.
You think you need to worry about the hoodies on the fucking street corners or your junkies? Nah, pigeons. That's what you need to worry about. Arseholes.
Are we really gonna?
Yeah, well, you said we ain't gone on a tangent, so we have now.
Are you literally really gonna leave this podcast on don't worry about hoodies and gangsters, worry about pigeons?
Well, I think if anyone actually takes that advice, you need to have a good look at yourself. You'll get an email. Well, Josh said not to worry about hoodies and to worry about pigeons, so I went to kick a pigeon. I've been fucking stabbed, didn't I?
I got stabbed 24 times. I'm told not to worry about it.
I was too busy looking at the pigeon on the other side of the road.
Yeah, squaring up to it. Fucking hell. We can walk back, people could be squaring up pigeons. Jesus Christ.
Big up the pigeons.
Big up pigeons.
But no, on that note, thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you on the next one. See ya.
Bye.